They're one of the most infamous couples in history, and thanks to A&E, Bonnie and Clyde are coming to the small screen. We caught up with the amazing cast to talk about what it was like to make this 4-hour miniseries.
It was a rush. 159 locations in 7 weeks is a lot of work.
I had a great time. I really enjoyed the experience. It was a really well-written role based on a really peculiar, interesting person from a long time ago, and getting to sift through those historical accounts and documents and photographs and try to put together a portrait of what this person may have been like was a good challenge.
We became a family. We were stuck out in Louisiana for a long time, so all of us became really close.
It was amazing. I mean, the whole cast, we bonded so well. We spent 3 months down in Louisiana, and every day, you know, for me, I was in heaven. I showed up, I got a new hat or a fedora, I got a 3-piece suit, and I got a Tommy gun or a BAR, and it was just one of those incredible experiences. Every day, Emil and I would sort of fight over who would get to shoot what gun, and you know, it was sort of like every 8-year-old boy's dream.
I know you've played some really intense roles in the past, so what exactly did you do to prep for this?
Well, there was a book that was really helpful, actually, titled Go Down Together by Jeff Gunn. And it was a really interesting, very detailed account of Bonnie and Clyde's exploits in life and their motivation for why they did some of the things they did. And I actually found that book to be quite helpful.
How did I prep for it? With absolute terror to begin with, just forced me to go. I was like, dialect coach! Ah! So I really focused on the accent to begin with. I just read lots of biographies and watched documentaries and spoke to doctors about panic attacks and went back to ballet lessons and learned how to dance like of the period and had gun training, and you know, it was pretty intense.
I grew up in Dallas, Texas, where Bonnie and Clyde are from, so I grew up with the story. You know, at 6, my grandfather would take me by Mockingbird Station, where the barrel filling station was, and my elementary school outside of it was a barn where Bonnie and Clyde used to hide out.
What's one last thing that you would say that we will learn from watching this that we didn't know about Bonnie and Clyde?
Crime doesn't pay.
A lot of the research that I did, particularly the biography Fugitives written by her mum, I began to read a lot more about this kind of slightly more innocent, needy, kind of vulnerable side to Bonnie, and so I kind of chose to inject a little bit of that into the character as well.
Yes, you learn their intentions, and I think that's why they were somewhat celebrated sometimes, because they were just two people led by passion, and I think anyone can relate to that.
And also the fact that they were so close to their families. There's this, as much as they did horrendous things, and maybe horrendous things against families, they were only stuck so close to Texas because they wanted to stay at home. And there's this kind of strength of bond between them and their families that I think is kind of really makes the ending really tragic.
Clive's gravestone said "Gone but not forgotten." What do you want yours to say?
I don't know, that's almost too morbid to embrace. I'm not thinking like that quite yet.
My gravestone? My gravestone? I would say, this is funny, it's not for real, but in college, me and a friend of mine used to say on our gravestone, we would "can't stop the train," be written on our gravestone.
Play with that idea, and I've been playing with it for about 40 years. I have a number of them. One is who they and what it. That's one of mine. In other words, it's us. We're responsible.
Well done. Well done.